worst president Nigeria has ever produced. You can imagine this level of rascality. So it means that paying tax in Nigeria now should not be encouraged, because you have government officials who will tell you that, they know how to spend the money. Just listen to this clip.
With such huge size, are you going to make any headway in dealing with them? And don't forget, it's not just the cost of flight. It's lasting for 13 days. There's the cost of hotel. And there is also the fact that you have to deal with what they call Esta code. They said approximately a minister's Esta code is about $900 per day. And so it cascades down. So it's more about being sensitive to the moods of the time, being sensitive to the fact that there is increasing hardship in the country, and being sensitive that across the board, Nigerians want to, a leader who will feel the pulse of the people.
My God, Nigeria is finished. No wonder even the IGP abandoned his post to go for this climate conference, Nigerians. My God, what kind of country are we having?
How would you describe this scenario? Sad, or the situation where Nigerians are agitating, or are Nigerians just overreacting in this matter?
Comic, paradoxical. I can find more adjectives. Well, if you take this in isolation, it will probably be some room for justification. You can argue COP28 compared to what happened in Egypt. The size of the delegations have doubled, and so there's been this increasing tendency for increasing the number of delegates. But we cannot take this in isolation. We had just come out from conversations about purchase of a 116 million naira SUV for legislators. The president has been junketing around. We read that when he attended the UNGA conference in New York, he spent 500 million. And then dollars, not naira. And then we went to a number of UAE and several other countries. How much were they costing? And just a few days ago, the minister for FCTA told us that the government was going to spend 15 billion naira, not to build, but to complete a befitting residential place for the vice president. So amid the binge on loan and borrowing, and the increasing hardship, and the increasing miserization of Nigerians, this thing happening, it's not just that it raises question about fidelity to cutting down the cost of governance, but also to the question of whether there is even compassion for the suffering Nigerians. Because if there is really the compassion for what's happening in the country at the moment, people should also be sensitive to the optics around the whole thing.
Not be one chance Nigeria enter. You can see it. They are so insensitive.
Well, the various newspapers have estimated that the size of the Nigerian delegation is about 890. The Nigerian government funded. 890. And then it's
those who argue that it may not be as much, maybe between 500 and 700.
Even do you need that many? Even if you put it at that number. So what will be their
in
roles?
Dr. Ajayi's paper, he argued that Nigeria has a peculiar. Nigeria is big in Africa. Nigeria has a big economy. Nigeria has a peculiar climate change.
Don't let them deceive you. Here is the Prime Minister of Netherlands riding a bike to work. Where on earth can this happen in Nigeria? It can't. These people are even richer than Nigeria, but they know how to manage their resources very well. But Nigeria is going out to present itself as a poor nation, begging for loan. But when they come home, they waste the money.
That is not the way to read that. He's a government functionary, so you can understand that. You cannot justify that you're having more delegation than the European Union, than America, than Britain. In terms, these are people, they're just talking about what they call lost and found fund to help poorer countries, deal with climate change. So you come with this huge delegation, and these are being funded. These are the Western countries that we expect to fund out those things. And you are overwhelmed by borrowing, and you are the multilateral creditors They are the bilateral creditors. Sooner than later, we're already giving them signals that we're going to come around to beg for debt forgiveness. And if you come with such huge size, are you going to are you going to make any headway in dealing with them? And don't forget, it's not just the cost of flight. It's lasting for 13 days. There's the cost of hotel. And there is also the fact that you have to deal with what they call extra code. They said approximately a minister's extra code is about $900 per day. And so it cascades down. So it's more about being sensitive to the moods of the time, being sensitive to the fact that there is increasing hardship in the country, and being sensitive that across the board, Nigerians want to, a leader who that will feel the pulse of the people. So you cannot be. We move from 160 million SUV, 15 billion for the, for the vice president to have a befitting residential place, and then 1.2 trillion in supplementary budget just on luxury items. So I think that the government of the day will really be able to, have a second look at all this.
I mean, from from the argument, there are a lot of outrage, especially for some names that came up, some individuals that are maybe social media favorites, and those who their opposition in quote never thought they could be on that kind of delegation, and perhaps, of course, they've said government didn't sponsor. In fact, we've seen some political exposed persons who said, look, I am there on my own account. I'm not sponsored by government. People are now coming out to say, I'm not sponsored by government. I sponsor myself. I'm not sponsored by government. I'm sponsored myself. But the question is that it is a system, some will say, about how government is being run and the template that has been existing before this government come into power.
Yeah.
Does it make this government look less serious or more serious in the manner in which this system has put them?
No, somebody not long ago, Nuhu Ribadu, the National Security Advisor, mentioned that the government inherited a bankrupt economy, which many people, understand that. But if that's where so, if you cannot fix the economy, then don't make it worse by your policies. Yes, there have been some people that, for example, okay, we don't know whether Sheyi went there on his own, but in the newspapers, he was listed among those who went, who was part of the delegation. And there are actually about 3 categories. You have the government, the NGOs, and the media, and some other minor groups.
Private sector?
Yeah, private sector can be part of the government delegation. How many people from the private sector are likely to be part of it? No more than 20, plus you go with the top-notch ones. And these people can pay for themselves. So if it is actually true that it's 890, that is government-sponsored, what will be their specific responsibilities?
We understand that UNDP sponsored some private media organizations.
They can only sponsor the NGOs. So, and there are categories. As I say, there is the NGO community, there is the government one, and there is the media organizations.
So you're saying, Prof, that with the situation of the country, what kind of size do you think would be reasonable for a government in this kind of economic hardship should have?
Well, the size will depend on what will be your specific role in that conference. So I can understand the business community because you want to be able to make deals that will potentially benefit the country. So if the government wants, I don't think more than 3 ministers, personally speaking, you set the tone. Because if you set the tone and people know that the president abhors waste, whoever is compiling the list will be sensitive to the feelings of the president. But if you feel that there is an imperial proclivity, on the part of the president, that he likes all this big entourage because he gives one a sense of affirmation of one's importance, then the people, including that, will keep on increasing the size. Because don't forget, it is part of the ways they build personal loyalty. They build this personal patronage. And it's precisely what they call the politics of prebendal politics. Like that prebend, they throw it around and makes it go around. So
So why do government officials have this yearning, this itching, this hunger to want to leave the country, to want to travel? Why did the travel first?
well, you can say it's partly colonial.
Nigerians, we must stand up and hold these people responsible. We must hold them responsible. We must bring them to account on how they are using the resources of our nation. If you keep quiet, they are eating deep into your future and even into the lives of the unborn children. These people do not care. They are not. So, guys, let's take some reactions. This Dubai is raising so much dust. The president of Nigeria spoke. I think he just used some few minutes to say one or two things, and Nigerians have been lamenting on about the incoherency of his speech, the way he spoke, and at the end of the day, nothing was picked out of the speech he gave. Will I call it a speech? I think it just lasted for like, I don't know if it's up to 3 minutes. But Nigerians are like shouting that at the end of the day, this man did not even say, as in everything he was saying, they were not being linked up together. So look at what this lady said. She said, Bala Blue, don't start again. Oh. What kind of embarrassment is this? Because the speech, I'm going to be playing that speech for you guys to equally listen so that it won't be as if somebody is just trying to make up words. But I tell you, he went from there to there and just keep mixing up things. You could even see the panelists looking at him with so much, amazement, as in, will I say embarrassment, because they couldn't pick anything from what he was saying. But before we get to that video, let me share with you guys all that things that are trending this morning on Twitter. So these people are making, this particular person is making reference to the president of Kenya, that this man is being careful, you know, on how he uses the resources of his nation. But we have the opposite of that in Nigeria. Look at the tweet. President Williams Ruto is very serious about cutting down travel costs. He asked for the list of those traveling with him to Dubai for COP28. He got a list of 189 persons and returned it to the bureaucracy and demanded cuts. He came back as, okay, it came back as 144. He instructed that the list comes down to below 60. Finally, only 51 essential staff traveled from across government. You can see it. They had only 51 persons that traveled with him. Nigeria took 1,411 persons with the president. Where is the justice? People are wondering, should we keep paying tax in Nigeria, or we should just be paying and then these politicians will keep wasting it the way they want without considering that the masses are suffering? That was 73% cut on travel cost. Ignore the rumors being spread by the usual suspects. Some people will tell you that it doesn't matter. Even if the president wants to take 2,000 people with him, it's up to him to decide. He's the president, forgetting that they've told Nigerians to tighten up their belts. That is it. So Atiku Abubakar is equally lending his voice in condemning the way Tinubu, packed so many Nigerians, including his son, to this summit. Don't forget, I made reference to the IGP, I mean the Inspector General of Police, is equally among those that traveled. I don't know if you've heard about what happened today in Kaduna. So many lives, have been pied this, I think that was just yesterday, but the IGP is attending a climate conference in the UAE. People are not happy with the leadership of this government because from the look of things, they don't even know what to do in helping Nigeria. If you still pay tax, you are wasting time. Anger as Tinubu takes over 1411 delegates to Dubai. You see, if you are paying tax, you are just feeding the politicians. So this man is saying that this government does not even have compassion for the suffering masses. They don't feel your pains. They don't. Oh, no doubt they didn't come for any debate. They didn't see it needful to come and tell Nigerians what they'll be doing. They didn't come for debate, town hall meetings. They never appeared. They said Tinubu was too big to stand before his fellow contestants. What do you expect when you say a candidate who is seeking for people's votes shouldn't debate, shouldn't even attend town hall meetings? The only opportunity he had to interact with Nigerians, he didn't show up. And what will you expect from him now? He will tell you, I didn't promise you anything. After all, I was not there in any of the town hall meetings, neither did I attend any debate to tell you that this is what I'm going to be doing. That is why we are seeing what we are seeing today. So, guys, this is the state of the nations. I initially shared this video. I said, look at the Prime Minister of the Netherlands going to work on a bike, cutting costs. This is an economy that Peter Obi keep making reference to, on how they are enriching their country through agricultural products. They don't even have they don't have large land mass like Nigeria. They have more of water, but the little they have, they use it to, like, make sure their citizens are very productive, and they export to other countries that even have larger land masses than they do. Just like Nigeria, we import so much from other countries, even countries we are better off than. That is it. And this government does not even care. So this is the video that has been making round. I'm going to be sharing this video now with you. The president was given an opportunity, maybe just to like say one or two things. Nigerians, you will be the one to listen to this. Then I'll take you to Twitter to see some of the reactions there. Just listen and let me know if you picked one or two.
Committed to critical steps to reduce methane emission by ensuring flared gas are eliminated. There's a huge penalty for that. There's equally a huge incentive to do so. The measures that we're taking here is a welcome development, no doubt about that. And we are with the leadership of UAE for the commitment so far. We are consolidating on the gas export, usage domestically and export for other countries. I can assure you that we will be partner in progress to achieve renewable. We are committed to energy mix. We are providing cooking gas for a large population. We will continue to do that. We've signed off on reduction of methane. We will leverage on new technology, and we hope the two giant nations and the Emirates will be able to help us through. The Africa, what I know of Africa is the fact that the risking in additional investment and technological know-how, it is very necessary.
So you've heard it. He was talking about emission, how they are going to reduce emission. At the end of the day, he told them that they are providing cooking gas for the citizens of Nigeria. We don't know where that is happening, and that Africa is known for its technology, as in all these things do not rhyme. He talks on one thing and he jumps to another, and at the end of the day, Nigerians have been lamenting that what exactly did he say while speaking? Because even looking at the way the panelists were looking at him, you see that at a certain point, possibly they were just confused, as in on what he was actually saying. So there've been a lot of reactions. You trust Nigerians. They've been busy saying so many things that I'm just going to be sharing with you just a few of them. Like I said, this person said, Bala embarrassment is this, and it shall not be well with Yakubu and the Nigerian injustice system. This is an international embarrassment. I am sure nobody understood what he said. And these ones are saying, I don't think the Arab man understands anything he said. A gibberish talking president, thanks to Mahmoud. So Nigerians are like, see, they could not even get anything. If you read, there are a lot of reactions. The people are like saying, what is all this? This is what we are going to see in the next 3+ years. Nigerians are not comfortable with all this. But what are we going to do since the Supreme Court has decided I telling Nigerians that, okay, this is the person you all must have as your president. That is the Nigeria of today. That is the reality of the kind of Nigeria we have. And honestly, these things are not coming to an end anytime soon, because the mistake has been made by INEC. The judiciary has upheld it. We just have to live with it for these few years. No doubt, no doubt, come next election, we are not going to having this kind of experience that we had, in the last 2023 presidential election. This president took so much people with him to this event, and people have been lamenting because if you hear the cost of the hotel bill that they are going to be paying, that the Nigerian government is going to be the one to pay to take up all these expenses, you will be shocked at how much this president, intentionally wants to spend in Dubai. All these things is affecting Nigeria because they will take the little money we have and go and invest it in another person's country, and then our country will be suffering. That is the reality of being a Nigerian today. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below, because as it stands now, things are not looking good at all for this nation. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.